Okay. This time I left the music on, so hopefully that'll be a little better to work with. Let's go to the mod dev page. I shifted it over to Ace so that I can do the intro like we've done the last two of these. So in this stream, we have the A to be hooked up via a file. Now we just need to test to make sure it works somehow. And if it doesn't work, find a way to modify this side, because it's more than likely this side, to accept the system, essentially. So essentially what we're doing is just testing the bridge out. And then if that works, we are going to start working on this one, e.g. the bot. With that out of the way, let's go get into it. And you may notice that the setup has changed just a little bit. E.g. the start quarantine new message received check messenger. This is the rough equivalent to an async system in pre-async. And we're basically just mirroring the logic that we have here, e.g. public static string, wait for message and return messenger, while not messenger dot receive message thread sleep, return messenger message. This would usually be an async task of string, but in this case we don't really need it. But for future that will be an async, so this will more than likely also end up being an async. Thus why it's an enumerator that takes a messenger. This is meant for just checking if the messenger has received the message, and if so, we're just gonna log it for now. This is where we'd actually have the logic. The same thing in the Orpheon end. Now we just need to find a way to build it to where we can have both Orpheon and the challenge run run at the same time. Let me just make sure I have the build test set up properly. This is why we check Orpheon. Let me just check if that's the correct folder name scheme. I didn't hear a join noise. Weird. Yeah, okay. And then make sure that API gets sent off to challenges. Okay, good. Now I think the order I'm gonna do this is going to be first off build you. I'm not sure if this will build the way I intend it to, but we'll see. Okay, it's doing the bridge. I'm just gonna pray that this is alphabetical. if it does everything at once. Anyway. And errors. Why? Why do we have errors? System reflection, assembly company, attribute. I mean, I don't remember setting this up. Oh, it's built by the MS code. So, I'd assume I fucked something up in the CS project. Net framework 3.5.0, bridge project, a bridge connector. Yeah, for now. Okay, that should be right. Unless we have the wrong namespace. Because on the namespace end, it's that. Maybe that's what's happening. And we also just check that. Yeah, that should be going to the right folder. Weird. Because I don't know why this would be happening. Okay, I see now. There's sneaky little files lurking. Got it. Let me go kill those. I knew I saw them earlier. I just wasn't sure what would have caused it. You're on the stream manager. That should be better to look at. Okay. Writer projects. Honey Island Challenge Run. Bridge project. Probably in the object if it was to guess. Yeah, okay. We're just gonna kill these objects. And probably the bin too. Mind you, not the namespace object, the one that just comes with the building system. Okay. That should do it, hopefully. me find the chat. There it is. Gone too far. Make sure that it is working. Okay, we're good. Error 1. Somewhere in the dependencies. Okay, I see. You're good. Come here. That's gonna do it for Orpheon. I need the Bridge Project one. Oh, that one's restore. Okay. So why are you screaming? Okay, now, if we try this again. Oh. So where would this stem from? Because you are not an issue in any other slot. Like, am I just always having a faulty object or some shit? Because that's gonna be annoying if I have to keep wiping. Oh yeah, I need that because of the project assets file. I don't need the terminal, I need this one. Why this would be an issue, but let's try. That's not an issue. Where does that happen? What happened now? Really? I hate net 3.5 so much. Like, for fuck's sake, can you not be so shit? Private class. That should be the same thing anyway, but just in case. Oh, you don't. Oh, okay. That was the only one with the issue. Damn. Okay. Well, it won't be able to get the other end because the other end's not running, but we'll see if the message goes. It does not go because it can't find the file. Why can it not find the file? No, 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 back. Wait, why is Steam launching now? What? Okay. Let me take this. So this is backtracing 2 folders. God damn it. Where'd it go? Here. Bridge, plugins, weapon X, plugins, weapon X. Yeah, that's working as intended. Now, where are we failing? Oh, I probably need to turn on the live logging setting that WeaponX has so that I can actually see up-to-date logging. Where is it? True. I don't know how the fuck you managed to launch without Bethinex open, but hey. Ugh. What the? My sound suddenly on the phone. What? Off with you. And there's no way I'm taking that quiet to where the mic's not picking up properly. Ugh. Let Steam do its thing. And then we're gonna try this build again. Because I need the full log context. To know where the hell this went wrong. So I probably missed a backslash. Actually, isn't? I think it's usually the opposite way around. Also check something. How is that ending? That is ending without the slash, so the fix is probably gonna be something like this. Whoa, what are you doing, sir? Ugh. Where is the receiver? Just gonna close some files so that this is easier to look at. Build. Does it really only run that if if the one section changed, really? Can I just have that just be part of the build? Ugh. Damn it. Okay. And I couldn't just manually launch it. That's just a little annoying. Especially when things want to just hog up the resources. Oh, why are you exporting a DLL still? For fuck's sake. Because that was supposed to export an executable. So how the fuck are we exporting an... If I look at you... I look at you in here, Orpheon, bin, release at 9. Yeah, in fact, everything's there. It just needs to move everything. In fact, that's probably a lot more DLLs than it needs anyway. Okay, why are you just launching without Bepinex now? What the fuck? Like, what happened? Well, I know it's successfully loading now. But where is the open console? Yeah, that is shown. Weird. And also, it's still not, like, logging my plugin doing stuff either. Don't know what that one's about or how to fix that one. Okay, true. I don't really have a purpose of doing that per se, except for like logging it from outside of the class. Yeah, it's usually logger.long. I figured that one has to use that. Yeah, that's essentially just saying that. So then now that should include it. Probably a bunch of needed DLLs. But that should include it in theory if that is valid. And I just need to make sure that the Orpheon is getting the executable sent to it as well. Which it is not. It does not have autocomplete, so I would have autocompletes. I'm just gonna have to copy that over manually, I guess. Although you probably don't need the bridge DLL in that folder. So I'm gonna remove those from the export. So it would be that. It's gotta be something with me enabling the constant blushing. Because I don't know what else would cause that. Okay, now there's 2 Pony Islands. Fun. Okay, now it's actually logging shit. And there it goes again. Why does it launch this game twice? have anything in my log? Yes. Anything from that? Testing. Sending message Apple. Okay, so the bridge did log. For the path, the base 64 followed by the key, and then the other path. Yeah, that looks like the right order. Paths are valid, right? Yeah. Okay, so I think for the current setup to work, I need to have you with Orpheon. If I launch that, that'll run. You run until you stop. Why do you stop? I'd like to know why you're stopping. Okay, can we not do that? Okay, I see. So, yeah, they're successfully doing it. Now we just need to get the executable to launch with the project and then stay launched. In fact, I needed to like always check if there is an update. And then I also need to know if we are sending things back properly too, but I don't think I have anything set up to send on the going back end. Need to open the bridge folder. just make sure this is using similar logic. True, if messenger receives a message, then we do logic. Okay, yeah, pretty much. What? Why? Why? You don't need all of this, my guy. Oh, that's not the issue. Where is your issue? There we go. Fucker, can we not do this shit? Please and thank you. Like, I don't know what I did to deserve you crashing all the time and killing my logger. Here, maybe you want Orpheon outside of the base project. Okay. So now I have that, and then I have this. But because of how I had you handling, we can't do that. Okay, let's get the source configurable. And then somewhere here. And then we can't do this one either. So we're just gonna get the full path of receives from. Similarly here. I guess while we're at it, let me go comment on the thing. That should do the trick. I just shows him being weirdly silent. Bro has not noticed the fact that I wouldn't lie. Or at least seemingly. I'm not sure if there was a message sent in chat. Oh. Let me check on that. Oh yeah, I can't do that because oh hey, that Bebenex path relies on the bridge project being there. That. Okay, scratch that. Look here. Should have the rough. Yeah. There's a base path. It'd be so weird if my Twitch wasn't online because I'm streaming. Okay. It would be a lie if I put that like that. Oh. Oh, that channel has 30 subs now. Don't know what got posted for that, but it's got 30 subs. Oh yeah, I posted a bunch of shorts. That's probably part of it. Okay. Let me just actually, we have a way of getting the assembly path. We just take that. And then I also need to update that. Yeah, this. And then we're just gonna give it the DLL path. Then similarly on the other end. That should be the DLL path. Okay, I think I got a better idea on how to situate this. Because putting a new folder here will not affect the data, last I checked. So, we'll put Orpheon into the root Pony Island folder, and then just go up till that DLL. Well, not the DLL, the EXE, but yeah. And then the rest will lie within the plugins. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. I can kill these. Or you use by. Oh, yeah, right. It's reverse ordered. Yeah, you're useless. So since we don't have that, we are going to do this. Orpheon equals go up a folder until x dot approach quote pony island. Actually, it's pony space island. And then the path is DLL path. Path dot get full path of that plus quote slash slash parentheses to know Orpheon. And then this way we have the Orpheon exe. And then similarly on this end, challenges challenges. In fact, I need more so that in x slash slash plugins, and then also that at the top, and then slash slash pony island challenge runs dot slash slash Orpheon underscore bot dot exe. No DLL. It's longer on you because you have more stuff. Anyways, you can be replaced with challenges. And then we can also kill you. And then the mutual path is path dot get full path of go up folder until x of Pony Island, comma DLL path plus quote slash slash path in x plugins bridge I want to say it was that. Maybe just double check that. Messenger.text. That's close. And as long as that is right. Yeah, that's right. That should be set. I forgot the dot approach factor. So I put that in, then it's set. Ow. Why is it screaming time? What? Just like not do that shit? Please? Ow. Like it's bad that I can hear it from in here. All the way upstairs. Oh. Right, now they're coming up here. Fuck's sake. Let's see this object. Oh, that should be set. Just need that updated. And I also need that to spit out every single DLL. Which means I need a refresher of what that property is. Let's see. Can people not scream for no reason? For all files and build folder and post build .cs project. Passing the variable I'm after. This is fun. People stop screaming for no reason. Okay, let me go look back in this. I'm sure it's somewhere in here. See how quick it loads. Shush. This one. It's not opening. Okay. Right. What? Yay. There goes more development time. Yay. Love that. I have no clue if that'll work the way I want it to. I'm just gonna pray. Yeah, it doesn't include them. Good. Now the question is, will it reset this again on me? Yep, no more Weapon X again. I don't understand why you do this. Let's have a look what it's doing. Successfully getting path twice. I don't know why we get that path twice, but it successfully does it. So I suppose that's a plus. I have to ask a thing in the Popnex server, I'm pretty sure. Yay. Sleeping. Cause you woke up to a nightmare. Me to love you much while you were gone. Me to the position and the girl is your veado broke again, didn't it? Maybe not? Yeah, no. Okay, good. I thought it broke. Let's go past Weapon X. I'm gonna do this one. Whenever Discord decides it wants to work. That's not even the server I clicked on. Sleeping, sleeping. It's dreams cause you woke up to a nightmare. Into love so much. Okay, I see. Thank you for having documentation. I gotta launch this through Steam every time. Good to know. There's no folder for Orpheon in there, so assumedly it's successfully going here. Control 27. For yes. At least the DLL is. Nothing else is. I can compare that. Yeah, no, it's not doing what it's supposed to. Got it. I can't do that. Fun. I'd love to just have it build and go to the right place and launch correctly. I'd love that. So let me fix this one too, since I can't launch you that way. Because you gotta be launched through Steam. So let's see. I mean, usually if it's in the repo, it should usually just do that. So let's try just launching Pony Island through the thing. Because it needs to be launched through Steam. See how long it takes to launch, but it should do the thing that it's supposed to do, hopefully. No, now it's launching without it. Okay, fun. So I gotta force you to recognize how to launch. Love that. Is there runpepnex.sh in that folder? Nope. Love that for me. Okay, so let's see. If I take you, put you in here, and then I need to take it to here. .unity.mono.preloader. Okay, and then we're gonna try that. We'll see if it actually launches correctly. If it does, I should see Bepinex pop up. However, I don't. Damn it. Oh. I don't have a file called that though. I'm pretty sure. Oh, there is bepinex.preloader.core. That's there. Okay, let me navigate there. There's my drive. Arguments. Okay, I won't scroll then. Okay. Fine. Why? Okay. I think I saw it on paste. And I realize it. Okay, so if it played, it should launch the game itself. Probably after the build. Yeah. And it'll probably be more useful this way anyway. But now we're doing the task of launching the game. Okay, I see the console. I didn't need Discord on that. Let's see if this works. Realizing it just shows a still screen on your end, but I'm currently trying to get the game to launch. Something I launch on Orpheon. Successfully got to the folder on Orpheon. Except we're still launching without Weapon X on the base game. This is gonna get really annoying really fast. Why are you monitoring shit? And why are you lagging like 10 plus years behind? What? For fuck's sake. I don't care about the monitoring. Crud. Need to get a set of launch parameters that allow the game to run with Weapon X. I love this game. Let me get to where I need to get, please, and thank you. I played you 3 times now. Let me get to Peppa next. Thank you. Just want to make sure these are checking the right file. Nah, it's not. I'm checking that successfully. Weird. As it should be. Not successfully updating it. It's just not successfully reading it ever. Actually, why is it messaging like that? Wait. Yes, that's not what I'm setting. I'm pretty sure that's not what I'm setting. Yeah, for example, there it should be the Orpheon .dol, not that. Sending it to Orpheon. I guess maybe it would be going up a folder too soon, perhaps. And for that, it's failing. Well, not that, but it's not getting the file because it's getting a path. Which would also kind of explain why that one's failing too. If that is the case, anyway. Because it wouldn't be able to find the messenger. I'm gonna be right back, and then I'll test this again in a second. Why are you like this? I mean, at least it fixes itself when I go into the app now, but still, why do you like disconnecting yourself from the thing? Okay, right. Oh, I see the issue. I see the issue. I think I see the issue. I'm talking too far away from the mic for it to detect properly. So, let's lower this threshold just a little bit. Now it should hopefully have more guarantee that it actually sees the microphone rather than something else that's not the microphone. Yeah, that should be good. Okay, we're back. Bathroom time. Okay. I'm gonna go check it out to where that I never on. We're on. I'm still waiting for a response from the BevNext people. Just might take a little while. So I suppose let me just like recap what we've been doing just so that it's a little more clear, so to speak. So what we currently have is this setup where A connects to the B with the file. What we in present need to do is get A's dependency BepNex to essentially get ran by the framework being Steam. I believe that's the rough logo. Oh no, I'm completely off. This way. But yeah, I need to get Steam to go and run BepNex instead of the direct exe. While this wouldn't be needed normally, for whatever reason, Steam has to make sure it is run by its own API. E.g., if the game is not being run by its API, it goes and targets this instead of what we want, which is this. So we need to give this API some launch args so that it would then go and brute force itself back to BepNex, which would then go over to the executable once it's done running. And then we also need to double check that this is actually still being written, and also that it's being read. Considering that the output for the Orpheon bot would appear to not be showing that a value is sent when a value is sent. Which could be a discrepancy in how pathing is handled between the two different systems. Though I'm not 100% if that is the reason per se. But yeah, that's currently what needs to happen. And in present, I can't really proceed until I get the correct launch args, which means I'm probably gonna wrap up soon because I can't really proceed until I have the thing, which is gonna take a little while. Though I guess I could just get out some ideas I had for a silly little project. Well, I'm at it. So, me and Cecil were thinking of possibly making a programming language of sorts. Absolutely no clue when it would happen, but we've been thinking of making one, and it would be called Cecil Sharp. It would be rooted in a programming language called C Sharp, which is where the name comes from. And the main difference compared to most other programming languages is that I want to essentially have a sort of icon system. For example, the CISO logo would indicate that this is the main method. And that's a reserved symbol for that method. Mind you, you can also just state main if you wanted, but I feel like it's a lot nicer to use a symbol menu. And then we could also have something like this, indicating that it is a loop. And then we can also make subderivatives of that. For example, we could put AT in here. This would be for a while. Or we could, for example, put an X in here, which would indicate a for each. Or another example, loop with an I. This would indicate a for. The I would represent an iterator, the X would represent a value within whatever you're looking through, and then the T would represent a true. And then another thing I was thinking was, what if we had this localized? For example, if there was a reserved keyword or anything, you could essentially just translate it to another language and it would still work correctly. Mind you, I don't know other languages off the top of my head, so that would require some contributing. But essentially, it would be like you have a symbol, it would have a plain name, for example, which would be the reserved. And then it would also have a trans name. Let me actually use a word that I know a translation for instead. Let's say you had a symbol called cat. For example, this would be translated into katze. Cat. I don't know any other language ones for that. But that's the rough gist. There would be a German variant, and there would be a English variant. Mind you, the subderivatives would probably point back to the same type. E.g., it would be the same thing for both UK/US English. Which does mean that if for whatever reason I'm feeling a little weird, some things can end up being a UK version of English, some things can be a US version, and so on. And that's mainly so that we just need one phrase for each language rather than a few different ones unfairly distributed between. For example, for let's say a public const, you would have, I'm probably going to end up using something like the internet logo, and then followed by a lock of sorts, and then your type, which is probably just going to be a abbreviated or just the normal equals whatever you want to set it to. Mind you, it would still have the C# syntax style, e.g. it would need to end with a semicolon and such. But there would be symbols to simplify things and make it easier to understand without needing to know every individual keyword. Which is kind of a direct inspiration from a hit game from Danny Mullen's games called Inscription. Which has a sigil system. For example, there's a sigil that's essentially called Airborne. It indicates a wing. I know this looks like a hand, but that's meant to be wing. Which equates to Airborne. Which then determines what functionality it would have. And all you would need to know is this icon here in order to use that functionality. And probably whatever parameter setup it needs. For example, if it was a, let's go for this, you would still need to have a Boolean passed into here in order for it to actually do what is indicated to it. For example, message dot send And you would probably be able to define your own symbol associations as well, as long as it's not one of the reserved symbols, including putting in your own custom ones. Though that'll probably be a little bit of a pain in terms of the compiler, but it should be feasible, especially if these are pretty much unique pairs. I doubt there would be any like same symbol to definition. Like it would probably handle this as a icon. Word plane. Trans. Tuple, which would then correlate with a functionality. Now, as for how it's loaded, I'm not 100% on how to go about it, but I know for sure it's going to be written in C#, as in terms of the compiler itself. So it'll probably end up passing back into a DLL or some similar system with its own loader. Things could change, however, and then it would still be in C# more than likely. Just maybe not building a DLL, but its own system, which runs its own system. Which is probably better. But yeah. That was the rough idea I had for Cecil Library. Cecil Sharp. And now the veado breaks. Stop being so silly. So maybe if I toggle no. Okay. Fun. If I put that on no noise reduction, that makes it really, really low, which is fun. Let's lower you back down, and then maybe that'll work better because there's no noise reduction happening, because it's not really needed. Especially since the mic has its own noise suppression already. Maybe that'll make the beta work better. Okay. So let's see. Have we gotten a response yet? No. Well, I suppose I'll wrap things here and then come back to you tomorrow with another dev session if I get what I need. I could technically just move on to the bot, but I'd like to make sure this is working before I go make functionality that caused the whole bridge system and me taking a whole day off. Oh yeah, and also update this more than likely will not end up getting played in the anniversary stream, but a later stream. Not sure who would be playing it, but it would likely be in a later stream. I've been going 2 hours and 40 minutes. That's decent, especially with the like hour 40 earlier today too. Let's see, who can I send people to? Let's see. Is Wild Berserker live by chance? I haven't watched this stuff in a second. And yeah, I know it's probably not the most entertaining thing to watch, but it's fun to have these. That's just a way for me to discuss with the audience as I code, rather than just coding and getting lost in the code. Plus, it might be better if other developers are in chat in order for me to get things done quicker and more efficiently. I'm surprised CC Ernos is still live. That's shocking. See a Ray Martini, I'll send you over that way, I suppose. That way I'm not raiding the same person. Let's raid. Ray Martin. Ray Martini. Should be the right person. Damn it. I can't raid them. Never mind, I would raid them if I could raid them. Let's see. Is there anyone on Pony Island? There is. /raid. Vaito Numa. No clue if that's pronounced correctly, but I'm going to send you over that way. If they allow raids, they do. Always a plus. But yeah, I'll see you next time. Reminder, Discord's up in the top left corner if you wish to join. Music's been in the top right. And if you're on Twitch, make sure to hit the heart button to follow so that you get notifications for when I'm live again. Similarly, you can subscribe on the YouTube that you found this on. And this should be streamed over on Chaosyr. I do also have another streaming channel on YouTube for just general gaming stuff. That's under the Stone Lord plus the archive. But anyways, I'll see you next time. Peace.